Hello, I am Nathan Sudbury. This is my research on carotid artery blood flow patterns in embolic stroke of undetermined source. This is through the University of Utah and the SCI Institute and has been funded by the Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program at the University of Utah. For introduction, our research utilizes patient-specific computational fluid dynamics to model and analyze embolic strokes of undetermined sources in a cross-sectional study. What we're defining ESIS is having intracranial and extracranial arteries with less than 50% blockage and no other identifiable causes. And this is important because 1/3 of all ischemic strokes are categorized as ESIS, which poses threats and challenges due to that undetermined source, which can lead to mortality rates. For our methods, what we perform is segmentations and modeling of the artery, which you can see here. And we're using SimVascular in order to analyze this. From SimVascular, we run these simulations using high-performance computing, and we're analyzing and documenting hemodynamic parameters that are related to time average wall shear stress, topological shear variation indexed, and fixed points using quantitative and qualitative approaches. And then we utilize those parameters to identify patterns and develop an interpretable binary classification tree. Some unique results that we have identified is that the bifurcation fixed points here for healthy arteries are typically between 1 and 3 fixed points, while unhealthy have a much wider range. For lower ECA saddle points, the same can also be true. Healthy arteries typically have about 1 saddle point, where unhealthy typically have a wider range. For time average wall shear stress, you can see here in the ICA, which is this region right here for the sinus bulge, no strokes typically have a nice uniform time average wall shear stress with no belt between the CCA and the sinus bulge, where strokes typically have that. And this is just a recurring pattern. More so for topological shear variation index in the ICA, non-strokes typically have a high TSVI between that CCA and sinus bulge, while strokes typically don't have that. For fixed points in the ICA, same sinus bulge region, no strokes typically have 1 or more fixed points, while strokes typically don't even have a fixed saddle point up there. For fixed points in the bifurcation, this goes back to the bifurcation total fixed points. It's a little harder to observe, but I just wanted to show you some. So for this one, you can see that there is a saddle point that is occurring right here, whereas for strokes, they typically might not have it, or there might be a lot that is occurring in this region. From these, we were able to identify those key patterns and develop an interpretable binary classification tree, where if we go through this, we can identify if stroke or no stroke is occurring. And so far, if we were to set all of these as all of our 28 patients as non-stroke and go through this binary classification tree, by the third segment, majority of the strokes have been correctly identified. However, by the fifth and last binary classification, nearly all of the strokes have been correctly identified, with one being in non-stroke. So what was nice about this is we were able to develop an interpretable binary classification tree that provides a general framework for identifying stroke, and it's independent of if it's left or right side. More so, the current model is currently achieving very high accuracy. However, this is a small data set, so it may be prone to bias. So future work is looking at implementing a machine learning pipeline to develop unbiased classification trees and perform cross-validation so that we can validate this binary classification tree. And then also utilizing more data to check against this binary classification tree to see if it's rigorous enough to be used in different cases. Thank you.